boiled chicken.
It's more tender when it's boiled.
Okay, I'm gonna have some of this. So guys, we just got back from the gym. I'm gonna have a post-workout meal, get myself some chicken and rice, going with a bro meal. And I'm gonna talk to you guys about that workout and a little bit about the plans that I have upcoming for 2019 with regard to diet. So I'm gonna get this ready, eat a meal, and I'll keep you in the loop.
I feel like you don't drink water. I feel like you just drink your beer.
Yeah, especially when I film, I'm like distracted, so I don't really think about it.
I don't like to drink that much water because then I have to pee all
Go to
the
the bathroom?
time.
Yeah.
And then I have to stop filming to
I
use
know.
the restroom, which I hate.
Filming ruins everything, you guys. It's been great training together, hey?
I know.
I've been having great workouts.
Maybe your progress is owed to me.
It's true. It's true. I do have better workouts when I train with you, for sure. Especially lower body. I feel like because more even level with me on the legs. It's true. You push me on legs.
Yeah, but it's not remotely even.
I don't know. Man, this is crazy. 4:30, already dark out.
I know.
Can't wait to be back in Florida.
I know. It gets dark earlier in Florida, but not this early. It's like 6:30 gets dark.
Here we go. Post-workout meal. Look at this little poverty salad. That's a sad excuse of it.
Representation of what you would eat after a workout would be skip the dishes.
Exposed. That's actually really accurate. You get some chula, or how do you say? Chula. Now some meal. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna quickly take you through the workout here. I'll put the full workout up here on the screen as it is in my program, and so you guys can screenshot that if you want and run through it yourself if you don't already have the program. So up first we did barbell bench press, 3 sets of 4, and honestly my bench press was feeling really good today. I felt like I had a good groove. I feel like the deload is working well. Everything is kind of like moving nice. There's no like clicking or like feeling of asymmetries in my joints or anything. It is really great. Good speed off the chest for 75% of my 1RM. So I feel really, really great about that. And I feel like I've really honed in my technique. I feel like my arch is improving. The mobility in my thoracic spine's a little bit better. And if you do want to improve that, the best thing I would recommend doing is just getting a foam roller and really rolling out your upper back before doing the bench press, making sure that you're nice and loosened up. Do some external rotations, band pull aparts, anything that's really going to help with your mobility of the upper back area. After the bench press, we moved on to a complex of military press and push press. So you guys haven't seen this yet because this video is going to come out first, but last night Rashaun and I just finished filming the next Technique Tuesday on the overhead press, so that you'll see that the military press is the same thing as the overhead press. So it's a very strict press where all of the pressing motion is coming from your shoulders and a little bit of upper chest, so no movement of the lower body. So we did 4 reps like that, and then for the final 4 reps, we turned it into a push press. So basically you're allowing a little bit more leg drive coming from your knees and your hips. So on the way down, you allow your knees to bend a little bit, and then you use that to drive the bar up. So this is kind of like an extended set. I think of this more as an advanced technique. So for people who haven't done the military press or overhead press before, I wouldn't recommend doing this kind of complex first. First, you really want to master that strict overhead press technique where you're really generating force off the upper chest. But once you get to a certain point, I feel like this can be a nice intensity technique. Okay, after that we did slow eccentric dips. So for here, we were doing a 3-second lowering phase and then an explosive concentric as usual. So I used a 60-pound dumbbell and did that for 3 sets of 8. And those felt really good. When you really focus on the eccentric, you can feel a really good stretch in the pecs and the front delts. So I love that exercise. You just want to make sure that you're not going past your comfort range in terms of shoulder mobility. You don't want to go too deep on those. After that, we moved on to the tricep press down. And here, it's an isolation exercise. You really want to focus on squeezing your triceps to move the weight. Don't get too much over the bar and start to turn it into like an actual chest or delt exercise. You kind of want to maintain a little bit more of an upright posture and really squeeze your triceps to move the weight down. Okay, so after that, we moved on to a lean away cable lateral raise, so the Egyptian lateral raise. And with this one, I got a really good lean, probably more than usual, and I pulled the cable or the handle of the cable up until my arm was parallel with the floor. That's really where you want to end the range of motion. And lateral raises are an interesting exercise because there'll come a point where you can't really overload any more in terms of weight, and your form will just inevitably break down. So you want to find novel ways to overload by, say, changing the tempo, even varying the exercise a little bit, doing things like keeping a little bit more constant tension progressively. So for me, rather than letting the cable come all the way down under my legs, I kind of cut the range of motion a little bit short to when my arm is just by my side, and then reverse it and come back up again. So those are little things that you can do to keep it interesting, keep it progressing, but not get to the point where you're just forced to use bad technique on a lateral raise. Then we finished off the whole workout with a plank. So for these, we're doing 3 sets of 30-second holds. To make it a little bit more challenging, I did what's called a long lever posterior pelvic tilt plank. So it basically just requires 2 modifications. You want to move your elbows slightly forward so that they're under your eyes, and this will increase the lever. It'll basically make it harder. And then also you want to squeeze your glutes, which is gonna force you into posterior pelvic tilt, which will kind of help pull tension into your abs. So it actually makes a normal front plank so much harder if you do them this way. And by the end of it, I was shaking pretty hard. Steph has actually been training her abs so much more directly than me, and she didn't seem to have too much of a problem with them. So that was the whole workout. Hopefully you guys liked it, and hopefully you liked that edit. Rashaun has been doing some awesome work for the channel. I'm gonna link his channel down there below. He does some cool edits over on his channel as well. And also I'll have linked down below the gym that we're filming at for the whole Technique Tuesday series and for these vlogs, Body and Soul here in Kelowna. If you are in the Okanagan area, this gym is amazing. It's not too busy. It's got great lighting, lots of good equipment, and I'm appreciative of them actually letting us film. So you can make sure you check that out if you're in the area. Rashaun and I are gonna go shoot some hoops, so we'll check in with you guys over at the YMCA. So I know you guys can't smell in the car right now, but there's a very strong scent of chicken fingers in here because Rashaun decided to get some pre-game DQ. It's the goods.
The goods.
And that reminded me that I forgot to give you guys the diet talk, so I was gonna update you on what my plan is nutritionally. So I'm actually gonna roll a physique update up here from when we were in the gym. I did a little bit of posing, just so you guys can get an idea of where my body composition is at right now. I think I'm pretty lean. I'm 160 pounds, but I feel like in the last couple weeks over Christmas, I actually did something kind of interesting. I intentionally decreased my protein intake, but increased my carb and fat intake, which might sound weird. I mean, I didn't track it meticulously or anything, but I think what it's done is it's allowed my muscle glycogen and intramuscular triglyceride to fill out, and it actually pushes out on the skin more. And I think I have more of a tighter appearance now than I did before. And that only works if you're already pretty freaking lean. I would say under 10%, 12% type thing, which I would say I probably am now. So anyway, that's something I've been noticing in my physique for a while. So my plan now moving forward is to run short 3 to 4 week mini cuts where I'm gonna try to tighten up a little bit more, but will inevitably flatten out, followed by, I'm gonna guess 1 to 2 week overfeeding periods where I bring the protein down and increase the fats and carbs. And I'm gonna see how that goes. I feel like in my experience, that's been always the best way for me to maintain a nice tight physique without depleting myself, not hurting my performance too much, and then still having somewhat of a full look. So I might actually talk about that in more detail in another video, how I'm actually gonna set that up, and if I go through with it, what I think of that. But rather than do, a bear mode approach right now or enter a true bulk, I'm gonna continue to try to tighten up and still get, try to get that full appearance by trying this kind of like mini cut and diet break approach. I haven't come up with a name for it yet, but anyway. So yeah, we're on our way to the gym. I'm gonna have to sneak a chicken finger. That's so stupid. I'm just like, I feel so hungry right now.
Why are you hungry?
Because the smell, man, it's intoxicating.
You just ate.
I know, but it was chicken and rice, not chicken fingers. So anyway, I'll check in with you guys over at the gym. So here's the deal, all right? Sean and I, our last basketball game was a tie. So for this one, we're doing tiebreaker. Game to 3, do or die, $1,000 on the line. $1,000 cash, no taxes. We're gonna set up the camera and we'll edit out all the misses. We'll put in the mix. And we'll show the PayPal transfer so that it's official. Right? Give me the camera. You're gonna put it up?
I'll put it up.
Because there's so many people here, you can't really get it open net. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the $1,000 bet, but when we get back to Florida and we're in Jacksonville, it's going down. It's gonna be a big game. We're gonna get a referee.
Who do you think's gonna win?
Camera. I know who's gonna win.
You know who's gonna win.
Watch. so guys, comment below who you think is gonna win. Comment Rashaun or Jeff. Here, this should give you some idea of what you're working with. Let's go, come on, let's see what you got.
That's so bad.
This is it. This is the end of the vlog. Boom.